Las Vegas. A stage of excess, glamour, and unforgettable shows. But not even the city of spectacle was ready for what happened that night. Jennifer Lopez, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, walked into the Tonight Show studio the way she has for decades, with class, presence, and a sharp gaze. What was supposed to be just another interview to promote her new tour, the Dance Again World Tour, turned into a live confrontation that no one expected. Within minutes, the spotlight's shine was replaced by a tense atmosphere. The audience, used to laughter and jokes, fell into an uncomfortable silence. And it all started with a simple question, or rather, a provocation disguised as a joke. Jimmy Kimmel, known for his sarcastic humor, crossed a line he himself didn't seem to fully grasp. What happens when a host used to laughing at others tries to humiliate a woman who built her empire through sweat, talent, and resilience? What followed was a rare moment of live television: discomfort, confrontation, and an exit that went viral around the world. But did Jennifer overreact? Or was it just the spark of something that had been building up inside her for years? Get ready to watch the video that divided opinions and ignited debates. Where do we draw the line between entertainment and disrespect? Do you think she was right to react? Leave your comment below and tell us, whose side are you on? The Tonight Show studio is buzzing with anticipation. The lights shine brighter, the audience rises to their feet applauding, and the curtain opens to reveal Jennifer Lopez, dressed in a vibrant red suit that immediately becomes the center of attention. With confident steps and a graceful smile, she walks over to Jimmy Kimmel, who greets her with a hug and an apparently friendly comment. Look who it is, the woman who defies time and the rules of the industry. The audience laughs, but there's something in his tone that feels off, more jab than genuine admiration. Jennifer responds with a controlled smile and settles into the chair, adjusting her suit cuffs with precision. The interview begins with memories of her career, praise for the new tour, and jokes about her tireless energy. But the mood shifts quickly when Jimmy says, in his signature ironic tone, "You're 54 now, can you really handle a world tour without needing a break after every song?" The studio laughs, but it's more nervous than spontaneous. Jennifer holds her gaze just a moment longer than usual. Her posture remains flawless, but her smile fades slightly. "Are you sure you want to go there, Jimmy?" she replies, calm but firm. Jimmy tries to backpedal. "Come on, it's a joke. You know I admire your drive. But let's be honest, 54 isn't the new 30. Jennifer lets out a dry laugh, crossing her legs. "Good thing it's not. Because 30 didn't bring me half of what I am today." The crowd responds with a collective "oh." The air in the studio grows heavier. What was meant to be a typical promo interview is clearly evolving into something much bigger. Tension hovers, subtle at first, but impossible to ignore. Jimmy, sensing Jennifer's reaction, decides to double down, maybe to regain control of the audience, maybe out of ego. He smiles and slides in the next jab like a poisoned toast. "You know, Jade at Low, a lot of people say you're not the same as 20 years ago. That you're forcing a youth that's already gone. Madonna tried that and, well, history wasn't too kind to her. Aren't you afraid of ending up the same?" The audience reacts with a mix of shock and uneasy laughter. Jennifer smiles again, but this time it's tight, cold. She takes a deep breath and leans back in her chair. "Funny you say that, Jimmy, because if anyone here is trying to seem relevant, it's not me." Jimmy chuckles, trying to keep things light as if it's all part of the act. "Oh, come on. I'm just joking. You know how it is. The public loves a good comparison." Jennifer leans forward, eyes locked on the host. "You want to compare, huh? Let's do it. Madonna faced the industry's sexism before you even learned to say good morning without a script. And despite her flaws, she was always her own woman. You, on the other hand, have messed up a lot more than her, and you're still employed." The audience bursts into nervous laughter, mixed with applause and murmurs. Jimmy forces a smile, but his face betrays his discomfort. For the first time, the control of the show slips from his hands. Jennifer, however, maintains the calm of someone who knows the weight of every word she's saying. The tables have turned, and everyone in the studio feels it. The studio, now under a thick silence, seems frozen in time. Jimmy, unsettled, tries to bring the tone back to light-hearted banter, as if he could erase what just happened. But the spark has already been lit. He glances at the cue cards in his hand and forces a grin. Okay, you got me there. But can I ask you something that's been floating around? Nothing serious, just some internet gossip. Jennifer raises an eyebrow. Go on. Jimmy looks straight into the camera, theatrically. Some people are saying you've been using a body double for a few of the dance routines on tour. Like, a second J.Lo doing the harder spins. Is that true or just another Vegas trick? The crowd lets out a collective ooh. The provocation, now blatant, crosses every line of decency. Jennifer doesn't respond right away. She just fixes her gaze on Jimmy, as if confirming, right then and there, that he didn't come for an interview. He came for an ambush. You're kidding me? Her voice is low, steady, unsmiling. She slowly rises from her chair, the red suit standing out even more under the stage lights. The camera follows every move. You want to see me dance now? She says, staring not only at Jimmy, but at the whole audience. In that moment, it's as if she's ready to turn the interview into a performance, the studio into a stage, and the insult into fuel. Jimmy shakes his head, laughing nervously. Come on, J.Lo, it was just a joke. But the audience no longer laughs with him. Isabella, backstage, approaches with her phone in hand, and Marcos watches silently with his arms crossed. Jennifer takes a deep breath, chooses not to dance. Not because she can't, but because she doesn't need to prove anything. The fight now is something else. And everyone knows the climax is coming. Jimmy forces another laugh, the kind that masks the fear of someone who knows they've lost control live on air. Relax, J.Lo, it's just a joke, or did I hit a nerve? Jennifer remains standing. The silence in the studio is heavier than any words. She looks around, breathes deeply, and finally delivers with a voice firm and sharp. What men like you do, Jimmy, is always the same. You laugh, you hide behind humor, but deep down you can't stand seeing a woman who no longer needs to smile to be accepted. You call that a nerve? I call it a boundary. Jimmy tries to defend himself, raising his hands. Hey, I'm just the host here. I'm not trying to attack you. Jennifer takes a step forward. This isn't just an artist speaking now. It's a woman who has endured decades of judgment and survived. You're not just a host. You're part of a machine that tells women they're only useful as long as they're young, quiet, and convenient. I'm none of those things. And I'm still here. She rips the microphone from her suit, eyes still locked on Jimmy. The audience is stunned. Some applaud, others just watch without blinking. The silence is absolute, until she delivers the final line like a curtain drop. You're not worth my time. Keep dreaming, Kimmel. With that, she turns and walks off the stage. The sound of her heels echoes through the studio as the cameras freeze in place. Jimmy, now visibly pale, tries to smile at the audience, but can't hide his embarrassment. And the question hanging in the air is inevitable. How long will humor be used as an excuse for disrespect? Because what happened there wasn't just a live disagreement. It was a breaking point. A star said, enough, and no one could pretend it was just another joke. The stage is empty, but the tension remains. Jimmy tries to recover the mood with a forced smile, his eyes searching the audience for support. Well, that was unexpected, he says, trying to laugh, but the audience responds immediately, boos. Not loud, but steady enough to sound like a collective verdict. For the first time that night, the audience is not with him. Backstage, cameras capture Jennifer walking with determined steps, Isabella beside her, visibly tense. Want me to call Marcos? Shit. Jennifer simply shakes her head. No. See. Everyone will see. Back on stage, Jimmy tries to regain control with scattered phrases, mixing apologies with sarcasm. You know how it is, celebrities can be sensitive, sometimes a little too much, right? The comment only makes things worse. The boos grow louder. The tension has spilled out of the screen and taken over the studio. Then the camera finds Raphael, the young fan who won tickets to attend the show that night. He stands up, no mic, but with a voice strong enough to be heard. Show some respect for J.Lo, man. She's done more for music than you'll ever do for comedy in 1,000 years. The crowd erupts in spontaneous applause. Jimmy tries to ignore it, but can't hide his discomfort. The authority he held for years on that stage seems to have crumbled before his eyes. Backstage, Marcos watches in silence, arms crossed, a faint smile on his face. He knows that tonight, Jennifer didn't just win an argument, she redefined the limits of the stage. The show goes on, but the magic is broken. Nothing will be the same. And for the first time, the audience doesn't want to forget. They want to understand. They want to debate. And most of all, they want to take a side. The studio lights dim, but the reaction is just beginning. Clips of the confrontation go viral on social media even before the show ends. Cell phone cameras capture the exact moment Jennifer pulls off her mic. Entertainment sites, columnists, and fans start taking sides. Did she overreact? Or did someone finally have the guts to confront cynicism disguised as humor? While the Tonight Show team scrambles to downplay the incident, the internet does the opposite. Jennifer Lopez's name rockets to the top of the trending topics within minutes. The video of the clash spreads with titles like, "The Day J.Lo Silenced Jimmy Kimmel Live," and "Don't Joke with Someone Carrying Decades of Stage on Their Back." On the other side, some argue she should have taken the joke, reigniting an old debate. Where does the comedian's role end? And when does humor stop being commentary and become an attack? But the question no one can shake is, when exactly did it cross the line? Was it when Jimmy brought up her age? When he compared her to Madonna? Or when he suggested she used body doubles, implying her body could no longer handle her own craft? And what about you? Did Jennifer go too far, or did she simply react the way anyone with dignity would? Comment below which part of the interview hit you hardest. Would you have walked off the stage too? Or stayed to fire back with sharp words? Subscribe to the channel for more real, or almost real, stories from behind the scenes of showbiz. And don't forget, sometimes, what happens in Vegas changes everything beyond it. If you made it this far, congratulations, you survived one of the tensest confrontations in recent TV history. But don't relax yet, because this is just the beginning. Behind Hollywood's curtains, truths are still being silenced with jokes and contracts. And if a star as big as Jennifer Lopez decided to say, "Enough," live on air, imagine what else is about to explode? Now the question remains, will you be just another viewer? Or will you hit play every time someone has the courage to say what no one else dares? If you like this video, hit that like button. It helps us bring more stories like this one, tense, unexpected, and above all, real. Share it with that friend who thinks it's just a joke, until the joke becomes an attack. And of course, subscribe and turn on the bell, because here, we don't pretend everything's fine just because the cameras are rolling. We show what no one else wants to. Coming up in future episodes, more confrontations, more stars, and maybe another host tripping over his own ego. Until then, take care. Because in the world of entertainment, truth has no script, but it always finds a stage.